Ask you yet for your permission. All right, we live now. We should be asking you for your blessing. All right, maybe that's something. Let's get on this right now. All right, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith, coming to you on a Thursday. Every Thursday is Health Day. I got someone that I respect immensely for multiple reasons. As a black man who's been in the game for a long time, as a military veteran who also I followed behind and served in the U.S. Navy with as well, brother Ron Carter. What's going on, my brother? Well, normally it's the reverse. You're the one hosting, and I'm your guest. So times have flipped around for us here. So, but the good news, man, we got over 1,000 videos on our channel from people who are legends. Dr. Conrad on there. We got Shirley Jones on there from the West Side. We got some legends, man. Even side bounds, people who transition and they families go back and look at these videos, man, years later, because they get a chance to see their loved ones in real time, what they was thinking about and working on. So same thing here, man. This is our documentation here. So for those who don't
Yeah,
know, who is Ron Carter, man? First and foremost, tell them in your own words, who are you, man? What you hang your head on?
well, I'm the publisher and editor of Chicago Street Journal, the chair of Black Wall Street. I get myself involved in issues that sometimes are successful and sometimes are not. But even those that are not successful, it's a matter of you have to stick up for what's right. And that has been the case of me for the last 40 years here in Chicago.
Well, we got to pay homage to our queen that made a transition that totally took me off guard, man. I was Sonia Purdue. I was taken back, man, when I saw the post. I even called the number just to make sure. Who is Sonia Purdue, man, and what's your ties to her?
Sonia was the backbone of Ron Carter in many aspects. We shared office together for about 15 years. We she put me on the map in a lot of aspects as far as the social. She set me straight when I was off the rails, so to speak. She was a good friend. Um, how can I say? She was a dear friend. She was a dear sister. Um, I feel as though I can't go on without her, even though I have to. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's,
Well,
it's so much
me and
about
her used to
Sonia.
talk about you. So yeah, I knew how she respected you because we talked about you many times. Her and I got close the last 7 years or so. So
She talked about me as well. You said talk about me, but she actually talked about me. You know, she got on my case when she felt she needed to, and that was something that was good about her as well. So
oh
yeah,
yeah.
she was just that woman. I still feel absence with her. They're just an absence. And she said, yeah, about Bound. I did not know that.
Yeah. I now just so you know, I don't know where you are, but it's coming in choppy. Am I choppy on your end?
You're at a standstill.
I am or you are? I know you was.
You're at a standstill.
Okay. Hopefully it's recording well, but let's get to the crust of it. So just in case we can, if we got to do it over, we can do it over, but let's do it. So the title is Help Us Honor Malcolm X by renaming a street after him. Talk about why you're a part of that. Did you start this?
In Indiana about years ago, and Gary, Indiana was honoring a street in the name of Malcolm X. And so while I was there, I thought to myself, what about Chicago? How come Chicago is not doing this? So I was fiddling around with it. I made an announcement in Chicago Street Journal after that event, and I kind of questioned it. I sort of left it alone. And then there was for Malcolm X on his assassination ceremony on this year of February 21st. And I was speaking, and as I did so, I brought it up about what happened in Gary, Indiana, and that what's wrong with Chicago? Let's do it in Chicago. So there was an organization, the Flaming Crescent Society. We talked and we knocked it around. We had some meetings and we decided to have a meeting May 19th of this year in honor of Malcolm X. But the thing is, it's not just to honor him, but to lay a foundation of his legacy. And that's where the street of Cottage Grove, and we decided that Cottage Grove should be renamed Malcolm X Avenue. At that particular meeting, there was a host of organizers from around the city. We was expecting maybe about 25 or so, but maybe about 80 people showed up for this purpose. And a lot of people ask the question, why Malcolm X? What does Malcolm X got to do with Chicago? Well, he was ordained and chosen as a national spokesperson for the Nation of Islam here in Chicago. And also I asked the question back, what George Washington got to do with Chicago? What does Jefferson Street? What does Columbia Street? What does Cicero Street? Do they have to do with Chicago? So with that in mind, Malcolm X is profound in his works, and naturally, due to his assassination at a young age at 39, he still have made a major imprint here in the United States, not only the United States, but throughout the world. In doing research, I found out that the state of Illinois declared Malcolm X holiday for the state of Illinois in 2015 by state Senator Jack Collins. And doing further research, I found that there's maybe about 15 states that have holidays honoring Malcolm X. In Dallas, Texas, they did not only honor Malcolm X with a street, but they did a whole infrastructure engineering on the street that they named Malcolm X. And then you're looking at Oakland, California, and Berkeley, California. Both of those cities have a holiday for Malcolm X. Not only just a holiday, but it's also that they have this thing going on. It is a no school, no government. I hope you're not hearing the phone, are you?
It went real bad now.
Okay, yeah, that phone.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
So there was a not Gary, Oakland and Berkeley. Both of those cities declared a holiday for Malcolm X, in which there's no school and there is the government offices, city government offices are closed. So Chicago is kind of behind the times, and we felt as though it's time for Chicago to reach out and be in line with other cities around the country, and not only here in the United States, but the Iran government honored Malcolm with a postage stamp. So he is someone that is profound for not only what happened yesterday, but moving on for tomorrow as well.
So all of that history is good. Now, Dr. King died at 39. Malcolm X died at 39 too.
That's correct. Yes.
I want how many people know that. And
Yeah.
Jesus died at 33.
Right. And so much that all those have contribute. And it's not necessarily just to honor him, but to resonate his message. And especially at the time of now, with the type of president that we have in office, the Black community have to be bold just as much as this president we have is being bold. And that message needs to be resonated throughout the community. People need to drive down College Grove and cross College Grove going east and west and realize that there is a message in the community. College Grove itself was just that, a cottage on 33rd Street. So we're not replacing any significant name, and we're moving forward with it.
So one of the things that was said when our brother Kwabena was working on that in Gary was they can't afford to put the signs up, and Kwabena wasn't having that. He like, you'll find the money, and it took a while, but they found the money and got the signs up. So when something is important, it's our tax dollars. If we say we want it, find a way to make it happen. Just in case Chicago tried to say that too, just know Gary said it, and they still got it up.
Right, but
what do you need people to do?
It took Gary 22 years to do that.
Yeah, oh yeah, Kwabena, he's been in the fight a long time.
Right. But what we need, we are going to be having a public meeting, the second public meeting in July. Between now and then, we will be meeting with the elected officials. Those people that live in the, well, it's going to take 26 votes from the city council in order for it to pass. We're right now looking at sponsors from the aldermen, and that includes the 4th Ward, the 5th Ward, the 6th Ward, the 8th Ward, the 9th Ward, and the 20th Ward. We'll be meeting with Alderman Taylor next week to see on her position on sponsorship. And at our public meeting in July, we will know exactly what direction we will go based on when Chicago changed DuSable to Lakeshore, DuSable Lakeshore Drive. It did not need no petitions. When Chicago changed Congress to Ida B. Wells, it did not need no petitions. So it shouldn't need no petitions to change Cottage Grove to Malcolm X Avenue. And if it do need petitions, we are prepared to work within the community to have petitions done, even to the point if we have to have a referendum on the ballot. But we hopefully, our elected officials are not scared of the name Malcolm X to be planted within the streets of Chicago.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's borderline cowardly because it's so socially accepted now. It would have been bold 30 years from now to put his name up. It's easy now. So anyone not willing to do it now, that's someone we need to be looking at. So just say know that.
Right. Well, every Black elected official have got the notice. It's not that they're not aware that this is what we're driving for. And we will know in July exactly what sponsorship that would be presented to the city council.
Well, you know my position. I think petitions are always in order because what it does, it gives the people a chance to write down, document their feelings, and power should always be to the people. You know, I'm block by block, so I'm always down for what do the people say.
Right.
So just know that I'm down with you for that.
Right, and that is the purpose for our meeting in July, the second week of July. We have not got the date or the location, but we're giving ourselves time to meet with the elected officials to get their position, and then we're able to present that at the public meeting on the direction we would go and the direction we need to go.
Well, let me say this to all of our leaders in the 20 zip codes in Black Chicago. Let's have our internal blessing, and then everyone know who the alderman is, they state rep, they state senator in their jurisdictions. So let's have a backing up of this, just like we did for Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. We rallied around that. Let's do the same thing, because it's a no-brainer. This should be a layup. And if everyone get in touch with their elected officials, it make Ron Carter's job easier. My number is 312-405-8844. Hit me up, 312-405-8844, because this is a no-brainer to me. Ryan, how do people reach you?
You can reach me at 312-848-9836. And we want, is what you are doing with your representation. We want people to pass the word, talk to people on the streets, strangers, and which that's something that I've been doing, talking to strangers on the street and asking them. And when I ask them, the conversation is yes. So yes, reach out to me. I'd like for people to be a part of the committee. I'd like people to call so we can make arrangements to meet with their particular alderman, even if their alderman is on the northwest side of Chicago. Again, it takes 26 votes to make this happen.
Excellent. All right, so as we conclude here, devil's advocate, let's talk about it. Dr. King's name is all over Black America, and on them blocks, they're shooting and killing. What do you say about that? What message are we sending when we change the name and we still disrespecting the name?
I believe that, you know, Cottage Grove now is a commercial area. It is it's different than King Drive. King Drive is basically residential, maybe about 80% of it. Cottage Grove is maybe about 70% commercial, and it's a hangout in certain areas. I think that with the name Malcolm X up and down that particular street, it can resonate a feeling of identity. I cannot predict exactly it will stop crime or anything of that nature, but it's planting a root in our community as far as identity. I'm not for sure if that's what you're asking me, or, but
no. They needed to hear that. They need to hear that. And my 2 cents on that, to the devil advocate argument with that, is right now in Black America, we got other people coming in our neighborhoods replacing us. So the more stakes we can put in the ground, we should be putting in the ground. That's my official stance on it. We need to be claiming, because right now you got people playing soccer where Black blood was spilled at on State Street. No reminder of what is in the soil that they're kicking it, walking their dogs, having Starbucks. So we need to be planting our stakes in the ground wherever we are, because they're trying to ignore or replace us. So that's all I got to say. Well, anything you want to say before we conclude?
Well, that is the reason why we started Black Wall Street Chicago, and we targeted 75th Street and Stony Island as Black Wall Street districts because of the legacy of Malcolm X, in which he did state that if we do not start controlling at least the businesses and economics of our community, we're going to turn around and it's going to be too late. So we want to be able to not let it be too late. You know, there's this legislation in Congress, EB5, that really is a tool for other nationalities to invest and to take over the businesses in our community. So there is some a growth of claiming Cottage Grove as Malcolm X Avenue, the same way we did with 75th Street, claiming it as the Black Wall Street district.
Well, a salute to you again, man. Your years of service, both in the military and in our community. Let's just press this thing forward. Thank you for your time, Ryan.
Thank you. Okay, I'm glad to be with you again. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.